Hi, everyone, and welcome to Hatha Yoga. My name is Julie Ellen, and I've got a YouTube channel that I'm trying to launch. I've been working on it for, several months. And so I'm asking while I'm thinking about it to please subscribe. Subscribe to my channel, Julie Ellen. Mostly the content is chair yoga practices, but I'm going to introduce more and more of the regular yoga or more traditional yoga classes on the mat. So please subscribe to my channel. It would help me out a lot. So let's begin. We're going to use a blanket as a support. So the kinds of props you will need today would be a blanket, at least one. I've got two, a block, at least one. I'm going to use two. So you could get by if you only had one block available and one blanket available. But my recommendation is that you have two of each. So we're going to start with the folded blanket. So I'll kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Just start with your blanket folded in its kind of rectangular way, and then give it one more fold so it's a narrow fold. So you've got that nice narrow fold. And then you'll come onto your mat as an opening pose by bringing your sacrum right up against that blanket and then laying down the length of your spine. Now you'll want to have your head included. So if you're long in the waist, like I am, you won't have all of your spine because you want to make sure your head is supported and then as much of your spine as you can. So this is the posture, just laying down kind of, it's a supported back bend. It's going to be a nice restorative type of introduction to our class time. So I'm going to have you lay on your blanket and begin. Now, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to talk you through it, but I want you to begin in that process and, start to relax and change gears. It's a transitional pose. It's really beautiful to lift up the heart and get your shoulder blades to release and relax. So that's it. Just start coming into this opening transitional pose, a supported back bend. Close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Move your arms away from your body a little bit. If it's comfortable to turn your palms up, try that, where you just open your hands open. That's it. And then we'll just begin to be aware of the breathing, feeling the body move as we breathe. Maybe you take a cleansing breath, take a big breath in through your nose and let that exhale sound like a big sigh, like, ah, ah. So some relaxing, releasing type breathing to begin with. Try to start that pattern of breath that includes a full inhalation as well as a full exhalation. I'm going to be directing you back to your mat as often as possible. It's a little bit tempting to stare at the screen or try to follow too much of the instruction by way of watching it on the screen. So I'm going to this is a beginning of that as you begin your practice today, you're just totally invested in your experience laying down on the mat, letting your legs just extend out, relaxing the length of your body now. Arms a little bit away from your sides with palms turned up if you can. I use that mudra, opening up the palms, as a beginning practice on many of my classes because it speaks to me as a gesture of receptivity, being open to receive the benefits and the blessings of this practice. Without yoga, we really don't have an embodiment practice. I shouldn't say that because I know there are many others, Tai Chi and various practices, but in my experience, without yoga, I wouldn't have ever come into my body. I would have been completely unattached to that. I just walked around like a walking head. So I don't know if that fits for you, but I'm just really encouraging you to use this practice, be aware of the experience within the body intentionally. I always say without yoga of the body, there is no yoga of the mind. If we don't break through or open to the patterns held in the physical body, we won't get it. We won't awaken to the long held patterns of resentment, judgment, blame, inferiority, or superiority, to name a few, that we hold in our minds. Yoga, in its purest understanding, is a loving kindness way of being. We use this transitional pose to set our own personal intention. So this is your opportunity now to let that arise, take that inquiry within. What do I need from yoga today? What made me come to the mat? This is for you and it's about you. So take a moment, see if you can conjure up a word or an idea that seems to resonate today. And then once you've kind of arrived there, and if you don't, if there's nothing that really comes to mind, just let that be as well. And trust that it'll come to you throughout the practice as you come more and more into the body, into your body awareness. So I always say, as we set our intention, we eventually come to the place of, and so it is. There, I've done that. I release that, and so it is. My prayer as I begin every class is that what needs to be said is said. What needs to be heard is heard. What needs to be released is released. And that which can be embraced is embraced. So settle in with your breathing. Few more full breath cycles in, all the way out. See if you can transition into a nostril breath. So it's breath is coming in and out through your nose. Soften the mouth, relax the tension that's often held in the facial muscles. We're not going to need it for this practice. Just relax. Again, I'd like to start with a chant that I have found that it doesn't really translate well in the video to do the sound of it as a musical kind of thing, as a chanting sound. So I'm going to use it just as a spoken word. It's called the Adi mantra, A-D-I mantra. And it goes like this: Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo translates is the sound of the universe. It's our connection to the divine. Namo is a bow. I bow to that. I come into that space of divinity. I bow to that. Guru Dev Namo. Guru is a teacher. Dev has a leaning toward divine. And again, the bowing. I translate that Guru Dev Namo as I bow to the teacher that is within me, the teacher that life is to me. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Namo, Namo. Let's take a big breath in through the nose and exhale it out. And then step to your feet so that you can roll off of your blanket. Just roll to the side and take the blanket out from under you. And then we'll meet in constructive rest. I'll join you. So we're flat to the mat. No blanket. You can move it all to the side. And begin with your arms in a kind of an A-frame. Palms are down. Let your feet open as wide as your mat is and let your knees drop side to side. This is often referred to, as windshield wiper. Draw your feet as close to your body as what feels comfortable to you. So there's just a side to side movement. Keep your head still. Let your back body align itself now. Head, neck, and spine are in alignment because of our position on the mat and gravity's pull. Side to side movements, just gentle way to open up the hips. And then let's add the turning of the head. So that will create a little a little full body twist. So as you let your knees drop towards your left, turn your head towards your right. So it's like you want your right ear to get as close to the mat as you can, and just pause. And then when you come back up to neutral, we'll drop the knees to the right and turn our head to the left. Again, trying to drop our ear as close to the mat as we're able. And now see if you can do that as a flow. So you turn your head and your knees are going in the opposite direction. So if your head turns to the right, that means your knees have dropped to the left. So you're just flowing with that little twist. That's it. Next time those knees have dropped to your right, drop the knees to your right, turn your gaze to look left, and let's add a little more sensation by taking our right leg and laying it right on top of our left thigh. Just cross it right on top. So it's the heavy leg pulling down through that left thigh bone. Now relax into your breath again, soften the buttocks. And for even more, you'll extend your left arm way up overhead. So now you can feel through the whole left side of your body, from the fingertips down through the side waist, into the hips, through the length of your thigh bone, this length and stretch. And so you're kind of looking over, turning your head to look over, almost looking towards your armpit. Let's breathe in and breathe out. Full breath cycle, both in and all the way out. To disengage, let's bring our arm back to its neutral position and our head comes back to neutral. We'll take that top leg off so we're back to neutral again. And we're able to move back into our movement of the legs in that windshield wiper fashion. Just a way to kind of reset the body from that twist. We'll do the other side. So when you're ready, drop those knees off to the left side now. Left side, drop them over. Turn your head to look right. Let your left leg cross right on top of your right thigh. So now the heaviness of your leg is kind of pulling down into your thigh bone. Soften the buttocks. Try to release any tension that showed up. And then if you want, you can add again some more dimension to that by raising your right arm overhead and feeling now the length through your right arm and into the armpit, down through the side of the waist, down through that quadricep muscle of your right leg, right down through your thigh bone. Find your full breath in and your full breath out. Full body twist. We'll disengage from that. So bringing your arm back to neutral, bring your head back to neutral. Take that top layer off and bring both feet to the floor. We're in our constructive rest position. I want you to give a gentle push to the low back. So the lumbar curve, you're just pushing down so you can relieve any tension that might have gathered in your low back. So just give a little push so that your lumbar curve just pushes down into the mat for a moment. Good. Let's hug those knees into the chest. Keep your legs joined together. Hug the knees into chest and hold on to your kneecaps as you circle around. So you're allowing those legs to circle around. And of course, it translates into a nice low back massage. The intention of this movement most often is to massage the adrenal glands, to be in the kidney region, gently moving through, massaging that area. It's a nice way to begin, and it calms the nervous system. Be sure to change the direction of your circular movement at least once. Some people rock side to side. I like the circle because it's a little more intentional. It requires a little more focus. Good. Let's bring our feet back to the floor. We're going to extend, just grab hold of the top of the shin on your left leg and extend that right leg long. Be sure you extend that leg straight down so you're working within the framework of your hips. Don't let that leg just fall wherever it wants to. You want to keep it straight down so that you're working within the framework of your hips. While you're pulling in the knee, pulling in that thigh, see if you can hover the right foot above the mat. So hovering your extended right leg above the mat. So it's like a pull and a push is going on. You're pulling in on your left side of your body and you're extending out or pushing out on the right side of your body through that straight leg. Soften the mouth. No gripping. We don't need to grip. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. And then slowly release your foot to the floor. And we're going to interlace our hands underneath our thigh now and extend that left leg straight up. And as you do so, I want you to start moving your foot around, kind of spinning around through your ankle joint and through the joints of the feet. So hold on to the underside of your thigh for support. Or if you know you can do it without, then just bring your hands to the mat and lift that leg up on your own without that added support. We're going to slowly let that leg come back down, slowly down, nice and easy. And we'll switch sides. We're going to hug the right knee into the chest. We're using the shin bone to interlace our hands and grab that in. And now we're going to lift up on the left side. So we're hovering the left leg above the mat, pulling and pushing at the same time. Right side is pulling in. Left side is extending out or pushing out through the sole of the foot. Relax your shoulders, soften your neck so that all of your energy is available for this strengthening through the leg, hovering, firing up the abdominal wall. Pull and push. Exhale completely and release that leg, that extended left leg, back to the mat. Good. And then we're going to interlace our hands underneath our thigh, extend that right leg straight up. Again, you can hold your hands underneath your thigh for support as you start circling your foot around. We want to wake up the joint here in the ankle and all the joints of the feet, even move your toes. Or you don't have to hold your leg. If you want to have a little more challenge, just leave that leg up there with your own accord. There, you're just moving it, stretching it. Feeling maybe the little snap, crackle, pop that often happens with the ankles. We're going to let that leg descend slowly down, kind of finding a particular track, a midline track to follow. Good. When we have both feet to the ground, it's time for a full body stretch. So raise your arms above your head. Just hold on to your hands in some way so you can pull yourself from side to side and find a nice stretch, turning your head side to side. Maybe one leg stretches longer than the other. Full body stretch. This is about the easiest way to do a full body stretch, right? When you're laying on the floor, you got all the support in the world. Let's come back to neutral. Arms come alongside the body once again. We're going to bring those legs up so you've got your shins in a parallel position to the floor, knees are bent. Let's interlace our hands behind our head and let's do some crunching. I want you to bring your opposite elbow to the knee. So it's kind of like this, where you're bringing an elbow to a bent knee. Maybe extend a leg as you do so. Find your rhythm of breathing. You want to stay aware of your breath, even as you work in strength and tone those abdominals. Soften the mouth. Let's do two more. And bring your head back to the floor and bring your arms back to the floor, but our legs are still up in that parallel position to the mat. Let's extend the legs straight up and back to the bent knee, just straight up and back to bent knees. Feet come back to the floor all the way down. And just side to side windshield wiper movement. Good. Legs come back up, hug those knees into the chest. We're going to rock and roll ourselves the length of the spine. So do a couple of those where you kind of kick yourself up and you feel that rocking through the whole length of your spine. That's going to allow us to come up into an all fours position. So we make our way to that traditional posture where you've got your shoulders aligned with your wrists and hands, and you've got your knees aligned with your hips. Start with a neutral spine, the tabletop position, kind of tuck your chin in towards your throat. So you just feel in the neutrality of the spine and its natural curve. Just take a moment. Without moving through your shoulders or your hips, see if you can just turn your head to look over your right shoulder. It's just a way to stretch and get to know what kind of range of movement you've got available in your neck. So this is all about the neck. Don't move your body at all. Turn your head and see how that goes. Maybe you come and go, you look over there, you look out. You just find ways to stretch and feel. Come back to center. Let's do the same thing on the other side where you don't move your shoulders, you don't move your hips. You're just simply turning your head, stretching your neck. Breathe in and breathe out. Your neck deserves your full attention, just like anything else. And come back to your neutral position when you feel like you've stretched through both sides equally. We're going to move through our cow and our cat. Let's start by lifting the chest and arching through the back body so you feel a dramatic back bend as you extend the spine into what we call the cow pose. Keep the tops of the feet down, toenails are down. Round through the back body and start to feel the C-shaped curve of the cat. Let your chin drop down in towards your throat, rounding through the body. We move into vinyasa, so we're going to lift up to that extended spine on our inhalation, and the exhalation takes us into that cat pose. Inhale, cow, exhale, cat. And just notice how the belly has to change tone to accomplish that. Just try to really notice, pay attention, even though this is probably a pose you know by heart, you're absolutely certain of that. Remember, we're a beginner. This is a beginner's mind. We always show up because it's only now. This is the present moment. This is the time we're experiencing this. Couple more. Beautiful. Let's come to that neutral spine. This time I want you to turn your toes down so the heels pop up and bring yourself into that full body weight where you're letting your sit bones come into your heels. You're going to stretch your feet. You're going to feel that a lot in your toes, I'll bet. So if you need to release that because it's just too intense, you'll just kind of sit in it for just a moment and then you can release it. If you've practiced this a while, I have been practicing sitting on my feet like this for a while, so I can kind of hold myself there without any problem. But I really want you to give it some relief if that's better for you. So sit on those heels if you can, but if you need to release it once in a while, do that. Now let's drop the feet so the tops of the feet and toenails are down. We're going to do the same thing. Sit into that. So you're bringing your body weight right into your legs, right into the shins, now the ankles, tops of the feet, stretching. Feel the toenails into the mat. Beautiful. Return to the toes down and the heels up. Let's come on up and use one of your blocks now. Grab hold of a block and put it between your thighs. That's going to help you stabilize your low back. If we squeeze that block between the thighs, that'll help a lot in stabilizing the low back. Pull in the belly, shoulders are back and down. Let's inhale up as the right arm kind of does a little cartwheel around or a little Ferris wheel action, moving up and around to touch that back heel. Find your breath and a rhythm that associates with this movement all the way around. Touch the heel. We're going to hold it there. Reach back, touch the heel. Extend your left arm up. So opposite arm is reaching up. Now find a drishti. That's where you focus your attention and your eyes in one particular direction. It's a focus technique, the drishti. So either look at the hand that's reaching down to the heel, so you're looking down, or you're lifting up to look up to the hand that's reaching toward the ceiling. Choose your drishti and breathe in and breathe out. Squeeze the block, stabilizing your low back. Soften the mouth. Reach, that you're always trying to expand, lifting up and expanding through that armpit, through the whole left side of your body. Pull in the belly. Beautiful. Both hands come up now. Let's bring palms together overhead. Inhale with me here. Exhale, let's bow into our own heart. Inhale back up. Exhale, take a big sweeping action to bring our arms back to the side. Now let's get the other side. So we're kind of going to cartwheel or Ferris wheel that arm up and around and back to touch that left heel. Squeeze the block. Just make sure you're aware. Holding the block is going to really help stabilize your low back, helps your pelvis stay in a neutral position. Let's reach back for that left heel. Right hand reaches toward the ceiling. Find your drishti. Now, if you can grab hold of your heel, you're able to bend backwards enough that you're not just barely touching your heel, but you've got a good hold of your heel. By all means, go for that. Lift up, feel the expansion through the right side of your body into the armpit, all the way through the length of your arm. Feel what you feel, notice what you notice. Let's exhale completely. As we release, we're going to have both arms reaching up, palms come together one more time. Exhale now as you bring your hands to your heart. Inhale back up and exhale all the way around. We'll take the block away and let's try a posture that is like a side plank variation. We come back to our all fours. I want you to just kickstand your left foot off the mat. Just kick it off so that you can end up balancing on your left palm, your left knee, and your extended right leg. And there's a nice straight line between all of those connecting points. The arch of your right foot lines up with your knee and your left palm. And then you'll align your shoulders to stack into a nice side plank variation. Let's extend that right leg away from the mat and reach your arm up. It's kind of like doing a mini version of that balancing half moon. Push through the heel. Feel the length of your spine. Find your drishti. Look at the hand that's reaching up or the hand that's holding you up on the floor. That's it. Let's try bending that knee and getting hold of the ankle. Pull back, pull that heel back. Feel that nice stretch. This is really good for the psoas muscle. You don't want your knee to be in front of you, so you're trying to pull it back. Really getting into the quadricep. Again, find a drishti. If turning your head to look to the ceiling felt pretty good, try it. Get some tension between your foot and your hand, that your foot is trying to push into the hand and the hand is just fighting just the same way back. So you feel that dynamic tension between your hand and your foot. Feel the difference in your leg. Let's release it back to that half moon. And we'll bring everything down back to the floor and we'll reset the body with a cow and a cat. So start moving through the roundness of the back and back to your cow. And back to our neutral position. Let's do the other side. So you'll kind of kickstand your right foot off, right foot comes off, and you're going to end up balancing on your right hand, the right knee, and the extended left leg now. So that's in a nice long line. It's right in alignment with one another. So you're not, it's not arbitrary, I guess is my point. Stacking your shoulders, and then it's like your ear is facing the hand that's on the ground. Let's lift up that arm and then see if you can just lift up that extended left leg. Back foot, I've got the toes down and the heel up, but you could also lay your toenails down, have the top of the foot down, if that's a better choice for your body. Find your drishti. Which way do you want to look? But definitely you want to focus somewhere, because if your eyes are wandering around the room, it's going to be stressful. Your body's going to interpret that as a stressful thing. So just focus your eyes. Let's try that quad stretch. So bending the knee, grabbing hold of the ankle, pull your knee back. Try to keep your thigh bone parallel to the floor. Open up your chest. Let your ear direct how your head is. So you're just really aware when you turn your head by way of your ear, what a difference that makes. Find the drishti. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel that dynamic tension between your hand and your foot. Makes a big difference. Let's release back into that half moon balance and all the way back to our all fours position. Turn around, we're going to round through the back body into a C-shaped curve and back to our cow and cat. Let's meet in the cow position. Turn your toes under and hover your knees above the mat. Take your cow up off the mat. Hover those knees above the mat and let this be your entry point to your first downward facing dog. Position your feet so that they're about the same distance apart as what your hands are. And I encourage you to have your arms extended past your ears. So bring your arms a little bit closer to your head than maybe you normally do. Just give that a try and see how that supports your shoulders. I think it supports the shoulders a lot better. Let's lift both heels up. We're on the toes and then bring both heels down. Inhale both heels up and exhale, really push those heels down. This time when we lift both heels up, we're going to drop the heels over toward the right. That gives you a little twist. So the heels are dropping over toward the right. Turn your head to look under your left armpit. And you're in a little twist. Bring your head back to neutral. Bring your feet back so the heels are up again. And let them drop over towards your left. Look under your right armpit. Breathe in and breathe out. Heels come up. We're going to drop our knees to the mat. Open your knees as wide as the mat is. Bring your big toes together now and find the beginning of our child's pose. So we're letting our sit bones find our heels. I want you to start walking yourself out to a nice long arm pose of the child and let your forehead drop to the mat and relax. Feel the breath down in a whole, much more intimate way. It's kind of a way to check in. We come into child's pose, it gives us an opportunity to just sort of inquire within, how's this going? Catching up with your breath, feeling the intimacy of that space. I like to turn palms up there. Turn your hands up so we go back to that mudra of receptivity. Yoga is a practice of subtraction. Isn't that interesting? It's a practice of subtraction. We are letting go of tension in the body. We are letting go of patterns we've held that don't serve us anymore. We are coming into this more realization of the freedom and vibrancy within our body. Yoga is a practice of subtraction. Good. Let's make our way back to our all fours position. Turn the toes under once again. Hover those knees above the mat and lift up to a downward facing dog. Pull the belly in. Think about your waistline, a belt all the way around your midsection here. Pull that front side, the front of the waistline back toward the back waistline. So feel like you're narrowing the space within your abdominal wall as much as you can, deep within the body. And watch how that supports your ability here to deepen into your downward dog. Let those heels drop. Lengthen through the spine. We're going to start walking our feet toward our hands, walking feet toward the hands to the top of the mat in a forward fold. Keep your eyes open here. Look down and underneath yourself. Let the top of your head reach to the floor, not your face, but the top of the head or the crown of the head is extending down. Get your body weight into the full surface of your feet so that you feel yourself in your toes just as much as you do in your heels. And let your body just surrender the weight of your head and the length of your spine to this gravitational pull to lengthen and strengthen your body. If you can, grab hold of the Achilles part of your heel. Get your hands wrapped around to the back side of your heel. Hold on there. And maybe you can pull yourself in towards your legs a little bit.
I like to just align my forearms into my calves. Deepen the breath. Let's bring our hands to our shins. We're below our kneecaps now. We're going to lift up halfway. Tuck that chin in towards your throat. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Feels like a nice L shape of the body. This is the extended forward fold. And then fold again all the way down to Uttanasana, the full fold. Hands come to the shins. We lift up halfway. This time we're going to bend the knees, and extend your arms out in front of you into our chair posture. Either hands can come to the prayer position, Anjali Mudra at the heart, or you could lift your hands up. Maybe palms are parallel to each other. We're into the thighs, aren't we? Get your hips back. Hips are back. Feel the surface of your feet. Knees shouldn't feel any sort of strain. So if you're feeling strain in your knees, I'd suggest you come on out of it. If you can make your adjustment, it means pull your butt back, pull back, get some of that weight out of your knees. Excellent. Let's fold again, all the way down, forward fold. Hands come to the shins. We lift up halfway. Let's jump our hands to our thighs. Squeeze those elbows in toward the waist. Now we're really up into that L shape. Nice, tall, extended forward fold. Extend your arms away from the body like wings might be. Turn your palms to face the floor. Lengthen through the spine. Now line up the back of your head, your neck and spine. Pull your belly in. Give yourself all the core strength you can get. Use your arms now and that core strength to lift you all the way to standing. Just lift up and have your palms face forward. Inhale up, exhale down. So just moving through your shoulder sockets with a vinyasa, simple. Inhale up, exhale down. The only thing I ask is that you lift up your arms with as little bend in your elbows as you can. It's straight arms following this track. Beautiful. Inhale up, palms come together up there. Exhale, bow into your heart. Inhale up, and exhale, take a big sweeping motion all the way around. Let's bring hands all the way to the floor in our forward fold. Get your palms to the floor. Might require the knees to bend, probably for everybody. Let's step back with the left foot. Step back into a high lunge. This is where the blocks would be helpful. So we step back into a high lunge. We've got the back knee up, and we've got our hands on the block for support, or you can bring your fingertips there if that works better for you, or just as good. Lifting up the chest, lifting up the head. Feel the strength of your legs now. That back heel is up in a lunge. Let's bring our hands to our thighs and work our way up. So we're into an upright position with the spine. Inhale up, palms come together overhead. Exhale into your heart. Inhale back up, and exhale, come back to your blocks. We're going to rotate so that we can bring our left elbow on the outside of our right thigh. Palms come together at the Anjali Mudra into this twist. Keep your pelvis lifted. Push back through that back heel, so you're bringing body weight back into the back leg as well. Find a drishti, focus your eyes. Palms together is a great focal point too. Just feeling that touch between your hands, that in itself is a great focal point. But let your eyes find a particular place to land. Nice. Let's bring your hands back to the blocks. We're bringing your hands to the floor. That's probably a better idea, because we're going to kick back into a downward facing dog from here. Start walking your feet towards your hands, feet toward the hands. We're in a forward fold. And now we're going to step back with the right foot steps back. We're into the high lunge on the other side. Left knee is bent now. Hands are at the block or on the floor. Lift your chest up, lift your head. Maybe use your thigh to help you balance your way up, upright, bringing your spine up. Palms come together overhead. Exhale, heart. Inhale up, exhale all the way around. Let's reach for those blocks again. This time we twist. So we're bringing the hands to the Anjali Mudra. I'll switch around so you need to see me, you'll have it. Elbow comes to the outside of the left thigh. Get your weight, get that back leg lifted. Keep that leg straight as you can. Lift the knee, lift the thigh. Find your drishti. Full breath in and out. Exhale completely. Unwind and hands come to the floor. Let's bring our foot back into a downward facing dog. Time to drop to the knees. Open your knees as wide as the mat. Big toes come together. Sit back into your sit bones. You want to get your sit bones into the heels and then let your arms walk you forward into a long arm pose of the child. Palms up, maybe. Catch up with your breath. Feel that intimacy of that pose, the intimacy of your breath. Exhale completely and bring yourself back to now an all fours position. So just bring yourself up, align your shoulders over your wrists, and align your hips with your knees. Move through your cow and your cat. It's just a good way to reset the body, keeping the spine moving fluidly, moving easily. This time, bring yourself to a neutral spine and lift your feet up off the floor and swing your feet, both feet off to the right side of your mat, and then turn to look at that. So there's this bend in the waist. Nice way to stretch through the neck, just to turn. Breathe in, breathe out. Head comes back to neutral, feet go back to neutral. Move through the cow and the cat. Neutral spine. Sweep your feet, lift them up, sweep them over to the left side of the mat, lay them down. Turn yourself over to look over there now. You're just looking over your shoulder. Your shoulders don't move, your hip stays pretty still. You're trying to look over there and feel that stretch through the neck and also into the waist and into the hips probably. Full breath in and out. Let's come back to neutral, sweep those feet back to center. We're going to make our way back to the mat. So we're going to come back to our backs, I should say. So finding your constructive rest. I don't think we're going to need the blocks anymore. So if they're kind of in your way, you can move them away. And we're meeting in constructive rest. So feel that right alignment. Nice opportunity again to feel that connection of the back of the head and all through the spine, how your shoulder blades are well positioned. Let's find a nice flow that's going to take us into a bridge pose. So we're going to start by lifting our feet up, and we've got our legs in that right angle. Our shins are parallel to the floor. Let your arms come overhead. This is what the inhale looks like. Arms are reaching up. You've got your legs lifted up into the bent knee position. So inhale with me here. When you exhale, your arms are going to come alongside your body and your feet are going to reach up to the ceiling. Inhale, arms are back overhead, but this time you've got your feet on the floor. And exhale, bridges your hips up as your arms come down alongside the body, and you can use that for support of bridging your hips away from the floor into that back bend that we know as bridge pose. Let's just breathe here, hold it, kind of squeeze your thighs toward each other. Let your hips lift, feet to the floor, nice strong quads. And let's start over. We'll bring our feet to the floor. We'll bring our hips back to the floor. And we're going to lift the feet up. Arms are overhead. Shins are in a parallel position. Let's catch our inhale here. Exhale, arms alongside the body. Feet reach up toward the ceiling. Inhale, feet come to the floor. Arms are back overhead. Exhale, it's time to bridge. Bridge your bottom up off that floor. Palms of the hands are down alongside your body, and this gives you the support of your arms now to hold your bridge pose. Breathing in and breathing out as you hold your bridge up. Last time, we're going to bring ourselves down, slowly down. And let's set it up for that inhale position. Has our shins parallel to the floor. Our arms are overhead. Inhale with me here. Exhale, arms come alongside the body. Lift your feet up toward the ceiling. Inhale as we bring our arms overhead, and now our feet are back to the floor. And exhale, bridge. This time, see if you can interlace your hands underneath your back body. So interlacing your hands underneath yourself, lift up. Bring your feet together. Just start walking your feet closer together. Let's see if the left leg can reach up toward the ceiling. So lift up. Lift, keep reaching up and push that right foot into the ground as a standing leg of support. We're going to switch, left foot to the floor, right foot reaches up, nice straight leg lifting up. Engage the arms. Full breath in and out. Good, and bring both feet to the floor. Let's take the hands out from under us and lower down to the mat. Let's gently now, slowly bring yourself into a hugging those knees into the chest and rocking side to side. See if you can open up into a T with your arms come apart, and then let those join together legs. When they rock side to side, they're going to go as low from side to side as you're able to do so. A big twisting action through the middle, through the waistline. Keep your head to the mat. Back of the head to the mat is one way you might choose to turn your head, like we did initially, where you're turning your head in the opposite direction of your knees. That's your choice. See what feels good. Beautiful. Let's come back to neutral. Feet come to the floor. Take your constructive rest. Catch up with that breath. Let's let that left leg reach up, and then bending the knee, we're going to let that ankle just lay itself down onto the right thigh. You've got yourself sort of a figure four position, we often call that. If you lift your right foot up off the floor and grab hold now, weave your left hand between your legs. You can get a hold of your underside of your right thigh in for a nice hip opener. The more you can pull your thigh in towards your belly, the more experience, the more sensation you're going to get. Maybe you rock it a little bit, side to side movement. That also invites a little more sensation, but guess what? It also calms the nervous system. That's a good thing. Let's lift that right leg straight up, and then we continue to pull that straight leg in toward the head of the mat. And then we'll release, get that foot back to the floor. Now this time, to take that top leg off, don't use your hands. See if you can just practice bringing it down and back up. So just patterning that movement where you bring it down and then you lay it back on. It's just a nice pattern, nice way to establish a range of movement in your hip in a way that your mind-body is connected. Good. We'll try the other side. Now extend the right leg up and then lay that ankle down on the thigh. Weave your right hand between your legs and lift that left foot up off the floor. Now we've got an interlaced hands behind your thigh, and we're working on the other side now as you pull your thigh in toward you. This is where it shows up for me that the inside, my elbow really has an opportunity to push into that inner part of my thigh, and I'm doing it. That's a good way to kind of enhance that, give me more leverage, give me more sensation and more hip opening. Try that rocking side to side. You're just looking for sensation we're really trying to invite that because that's an opening, that's spaciousness in the body that once was, all clogged up. We're trying to find the spaciousness again. Back to your breath, being aware of the fullness of your breath cycle. Let's extend that left leg up, straight, long leg up. Again, we try to draw that leg up toward the head of the body, so that's going to give us a little more sensation as well. We'll bend that knee, bring that foot to the floor. Don't use your arms or your hands as you bring that foot back to the mat. I'm going to practice that a few times, letting that knee drop, bring it back. Good. Now, if there's any posture that your body is still looking for, if there's some kind of movement that your body is needing, this is the time to do that for yourself. Maybe there's something you want to do, a full body stretch. Maybe you want to do a shoulder stand, something like that. Anything that you know in your own practice is available to you, and this is the time you might do that. In just a few minutes, we're going to move our way into Shavasana. If you're ready for Shavasana already, bring your blankets. Maybe you get your socks back on your feet, depends on where you live. This time of the year, we're certainly putting socks and sweatshirts back on. So whatever you might need to be very comfortable for your Shavasana experience. All right. So we're laying flat on our back. Maybe if you need some low back support, you could roll up one of your blankets and create a little cushion that you can place under your knees. That oftentimes will relieve any low back pressure, and you're able to relax comfortably in your Shavasana. Arms alongside the body, maybe with a little distance between your arms and your sides, just whatever feels comfortable for you. Some people like to lay their hands on their belly, maybe one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly. It's a beautiful way to posture yourself for Shavasana. So you decide what feels best. Eyes are closed as soon as you're ready to do that. You start settling into your rhythm of breath. Feeling now, the vitality of your practice. I bet you can feel that aliveness within. Take a moment to really look for that feeling of aliveness. That's prana. That's that life force energy. That you can feel it, you can experience it. Let your breath just calm itself. It'll slow down. And start to notice again, now that we're fully focused on our body in its rested position, you can bring your full awareness into your breathing. Notice how breath awareness deepens the breath. You didn't do anything to control that. It just happened by bringing your awareness to it. As you breathe in and breathe out, you feel it deepening. And I'm going to invite you to use a mantra. As you breathe in, you say deep. And as you breathe out, you say to yourself, slow. So you're just accompanying that deeper breath with the acknowledgement of deep and slow. Just using those words. Something you say to yourself as a mantra. Breathe in deep and breathe out slow. That's it. And pretty soon we start to notice in our body, don't we, that we feel a sense of calm and ease. Let's change our words. Inhale now the word calm. Exhale ease. Inhale calm. Exhale ease. Calm, ease. Let your body relax. Let it be held by the mother, the earth energy. Soften your mouth, relax your tongue, your facial muscles. Soften the neck, the shoulders.
the length of both arms. Soften your belly. Soften the hips and buttocks, the length of both legs, and relax your feet. I've been using a book for many, many years as part of my 12-step recovery program. And this reading comes from the book, The Promise of a New Day. Understanding circumstances, other people, even ourselves, comes with the passage of time and our willingness to be open to all the lessons contained within a moment. We must be willing to participate fully in the events that have requested our attendance. Then we can discover the longed for clarity about life and our role in it. Immersion in the moment, accompanied by reflective quiet times, promises a perspective that offers us wisdom. We all long for happiness, an easier life, and wisdom. We learn so slowly that both happiness and the easier life are generally matters of attitude. Therein lies our sought after wisdom. How much simpler it makes living through even our most feared experiences when we have acquired the wisdom to know that the mind we carry into the moment, any moment, will be reflected in the outcome. It takes patience and willingness to live fully enough to reap the benefits that accompany wisdom. Today I'll practice patience. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale it out of the mouth with a sound of ah. A couple more cleansing breaths like that. Inhale through the nose, exhale out of the mouth with a sound of ah, big sigh. One more time, just like that. Bring your hands to your heart and keep your eyes closed. Just rub your palms together. You're generating some heat right there at the heart center. Interlace your fingers and then stretch those palms with interlaced fingers up toward the ceiling and then up and overhead for a full body stretch. Keep your eyes closed and give yourself a full body stretch. You can release those interlaced fingers or not, your choice. Full body stretch. That's it. Then get your arms alongside your body. Step your feet to the mat. Roll to the side. Draw your knees in. You're into that fetal position now. Use your right arm to pillow your head as you give yourself a hug. It's like you're bringing yourself into the position of your own hug. Very intimate, very lovely. And then when you're ready, find a comfortable way to sit and we'll meet there. Let's sync up our breath one last time. Inhale as palms come together up and overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. This is that Guru Dev Namo. Inhale back up. And exhale, we're going to share this beautiful, wise energy, this energy of peace and wisdom throughout our own communities. Palms come together at the Anjali Mudra. We bow to ourselves. We bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. Thank you for joining me.